welcome back to
the YouTube family!
Today we are playing Storymatic.
There's several different ways you can play this. The way that we're going to play it, because we have such a large group, is so the first person will draw 2 gold cards and that will start the story. The gold cards are about people and creatures, and the copper cards are about places and things. Then the next person will draw a copper card and that will help develop the story more, going along with the place. The third player can draw either copper or gold, and then we'll just keep continuing around and around until our story gets crazier and crazier. So a lot of things are going to happen. So we're going to start off with Dad because he is the best storyteller in our family.
All right, let's go with the first story. This is a vet, so a veterinarian, who asks that a person who asks what nobody ever asks. So this is a veterinarian who asks what nobody ever asks.
Huh.
Ooh, okay, and scene. All right, so one day there was a family who took their dog to the vet. This vet's name was Bob.
Of course.
And Bob was known far and wide as the best veterinarian in all the land. Now this family really loved their dog. In fact, this was a little dog named Logan.
Logan!
He was a Cocker Spaniel. This is Logan, who is the dog that the family took to the vet, right? Yep. All right. Now this vet was known for doing some really weird things. He would ask a lot of questions. So here we go. The family's got their dog at the vet. The vet asks the question, how many times has this dog laid down? The family said, nobody ever asked that question. And he says, aha! I ask questions that nobody asks.
Oh, now it's Ty's turn.
this one.
Yep. So the card says, the door won't open. So the veterinarian, Bob, continues to ask a lot of questions to where the owner was like, you know what? I'm fed up with this. Why don't you just go ahead and check out the dog, and I'm going to go wait in the waiting room. So the owner gets up, goes to the door, and tries hard, but the door won't open. The door rattles, it shakes, it moves, the handle jiggles, but the door won't open. And the vet says, oh, would you like to ask me a question?
Then no one ever asks.
I'm going to draw a people one.
Did you draw 2 people ones or just
One. Enter the ex-superhero. So the dog owner says, yes. Are you a superhero? Do you know how to open this door? And the vet's like, well, I was an ex-superhero back in the day, but I gave that up because I got falsely accused of being a villain. So now I work at the vet store taking care of these dogs. But I think I can still open the door with my superpowers. Let's give it a try.
Oh, my turn. Okay, I'm pulling out a copper orangish one. Equipment malfunction. Oh, this is a good one. Okay. So, wait, did you say that the ex-superhero was Bob?
Yes.
Bob. Okay. Okay. So Bob, the ex-superhero, goes to the door and he tries to open it, but unfortunately, his equipment that he is using, which is a ear cleaner for dogs, he's trying to oil the handle because it's rusty with the oil for the ear cleaner. But there's an equipment malfunction and Jacob, no. And the ear cleaner does not squirt out. So he has one other option. He tries to kick it down, but it doesn't work.
Person who did something bad a long, long time ago. So Bob and who's the
Family?
The dog owner?
The dog owner.
Okay. Bob and the dog owner are just stuck in this room all by themselves. And
Don't forget the dog Logan.
and Logan, the dog.
Logan.
And they just sit down and Bob goes, well, since we're just stuck in here, I think I'm going to ask you some more questions that no one ever asks. So, being an ex-superhero, he wants to know about this other person and see if he was ever a villain, the dog owner, whose now name is Steve. So, we need a name. So Bob goes, well, have you done anything bad in the past? So Steve said, well, I might have stole some dog treats in the past from a bakery, but that's okay, right? That was a long, long time ago. Your turn.
I can pick a copper, right? lucky underwear.
Hmm.
So Bob realized he was wearing his lucky underwear.
Bob was ex-superhero who's a vet is now wearing his lucky underwear.
Yes.
Okay.
Bob is a very complex guy.
So he like ripped it out and put it on the door and it opened.
Wedgie underwear.
Yeah. Okay.
And they all lived happily ever after. So this card says, forgot to pass along the information. So Bob, after ripping out his underwear and opening the door, the astonished dog owner, Steve, standing there with his face in awe, is like, what just happened here? And Bob forgot to tell him. So Bob says, Steve, I forgot to tell you, one of the other reasons why I'm no longer a superhero is because, well, as you can see, my underwear is what made me so super. And every time I whipped it out, people got a little offended or crazed or ran away. And so it really didn't work out too well. Yeah, I forgot to pass along that information to you. But now you know. Aquarium, so a fish tank.
So, right when they opened the door and looked out, they saw a big, huge aquarium in front of them.
Alrighty.
Okay.
Person who has broken something that cannot be replaced. So Bob and Steve, man, they were happy to get out of that room, but Steve was super scared of this ex-villain turned superhero, Bob, the vet,
His magic underpants.
with magic underwear, that he went running with Logan. They ran straight into the aquarium and broke it. This was a kind aquarium that Bob had stolen.
What?
Yes, it was an antique aquarium.
Bob the superhero stole it?
Bob the superhero turned vet stole an aquarium that could not be replaced. This aquarium was valued at $1 trillion. Steve ran into it with Logan and broke it. Fish went flying everywhere.
No wonder why people think he's a villain. He stole a huge fish tank.
$1 trillion?
Audible thump outside the car. So, as the Bob the ex-superhero with magic underpants is running away with Logan, he decides to jump inside of his car and just drive away because he's like, oh wow, this is so much faster. Why did I think of this in the first place? So he just picks up Logan, puts him in the car, hurry and jumps to the driver's seat and drives away. And then all of a sudden there's a big thump and he just goes flying through the air. He's like, whoa, what just happened? Turns out he hit someone called Octodad, which is a person that's really an octopus pretending to be a dad. So he hit Octodad, and Octodad is like, and so yeah, now they have a crazy Octodad guy going, and Logan is freaking out in the car because he just went flying through the air, and Bob is like, ah, what do I do now?
One more time, what was Octodad doing?
Rest area. So Bob pulls over to this rest area to see what happened with this thing he just hit. And so he gets out of the car and he goes over to the Octodad that's going like this on the ground.
Wait a minute, is Bob in the car or Steve in the car?
I thought Bob
Steve is
took-
back at the vet.
So Bob took Logan, got in the car.
Yes, Bob stole Logan.
Okay, go.
So Bob goes over to Octodad at the rest area and he's like, oh man, dude, I'm so sorry. He's a surf dude now. and then Octodad goes, wait a second, you look familiar. Aren't you Bob Ross, the ex-superhero?
Bob who?
Ross?
That's funny.
See, you got us into Logan.
Hiccups?
Hiccups.
Okay. Then after, like, a second after they said that stuff with his magic underwear still hanging on that door,
Oh, they're in the car in a rest area.
I know. He's like, he was trying to say, wait, I have to go in my lucky underwear. And he's like, and then he started getting hiccups going, and he starts flying in the air.
So Bob Bob Ross.
The surfer bet.
Let me get you up to speed here. So we got this gentleman by the name of Bob Ross, who we found out was an ex-superhero turned vet, but also was a surfer dude on the side.
Imagine Bob Ross
Kidnaps a dog.
Also stole an aquarium.
And now has the hiccups. Wow. There
And
we
he
go.
flew away.
Oh, he's flying.
Clown school.
He was a clown.
Clown school. All right, so our superhero turned everything else that you've heard has a chronic problem with hiccups. And the only thing that can help him get rid of the hiccups is to get scared. Now, Bob is only scared of one thing, and one thing only, and that is clowns. And where do you find clowns? Well, you go to a circus, but Bob doesn't live in the part of the country where there are any circuses. And so he thought, you know what? I'm going to look up here on Google for the nearest clown school. And he types in clown school and finds one just around the corner. How much of a coincidence is that? So Bob jumps in the car and heads to the clown school.
This is mine. After he
Yep.
flies. Stairs.
Stairs.
And then once he got in the clown school, the room was full of stairs. And then he was trapped.
He was
Stairs.
trapped again.
So he's
there's
trapped in a room full of stairs at a clown school.
And then the door got blocked off by stairs.
So these stairs move like Harry Potter.
Yes.
Person with an excellent sense of smell.
Bob also has an excellent sense of
Did you
Doesn't
know?
have to
No,
be
a new
Bob. It
person.
can be somebody at the clown school.
So Bob is climbing up and down stairs, and he's starting to get pretty exhausted as these stairs keep changing, and he cannot find his way out of this circus, or out of this clown school, I mean. And he's getting pretty nervous when all of a sudden he bumps into this miniature man that is like 2 inches tall.
Mini-Man.
He's called
Sounds like-
Mini-Man. Well, Bob happened to recognize Mini-Man back from his superhero days. Mini-Man is actually a superhero himself. He can smell any smell in the world. From the micro smells that nobody else can smell, he can smell it. So Bob enlists Mini-Man to help him smell their way out.
Person who says yes to everything. Okay.
Bobby.
So, Bob asks this mini-man, hey, will you help me find my way out of here? And of course, the little mini-man, he has to say yes to everything because he has a curse placed on him that was placed by witches thousands of years ago, and where he lives forever, but he also has to say yes to everything. He can never say no. And so he's like,
This is a complicated
Yes.
story.
he says yes. And so he goes, and he smells some cinnamon rolls coming from the cafeteria area. And so he's like, okay, this way. And he runs over that way. But unfortunately, he's way too fast because he really wants to eat those cinnamon rolls before they run out because those are a Friday delicacy. They only go on Fridays. And so Bob Ross is left alone once again in the staircase, and he's trying to use his sense of smell to find the cinnamon rolls, but unfortunately, Bob has a terrible sense of smell, and he cannot smell anything.
First day of school. So, little did Bobby know, this is actually the first day of clown school for all the clown students. And so, while little Mini-Man was gone, he's trying to search through all these stairs to find the cinnamon roll cafeteria place. And he hears some ginormous footsteps coming through the door. And he hears some honking. And he knows what that means. That means there are clowns nearby, his worst nightmare. And so he tries to find a place to hide because he knows that all these clowns are going to come and surround him.
Person with a grudge. So this big, giant clown comes by Bob, ex-superhero guy. He has a grudge to hold him and go. And it just keeps honking his horn, and he just teases him with his clowny stuff.
All right. Well, that should help him with these hiccups. Wish comes true. Okay, so Bob is at the clown school. First day of clown school. Mini-Me, or was that his name?
Yeah, he's gone.
Yeah, Mini-Me or Mini-Man is gone to go eat all the cinnamon rolls. Bob is sitting there with the hiccups. This clown just grabbed him. This clown's got a grudge. He's honking. He's making weird noises. Bob all of a sudden is instantly cured of his hiccups because, remember, Bob was afraid of clowns. And now he's thinking, okay, how do I get away from these clowns? Because I've got to get back to the veterinarian, because if you remember how the story started, Logan is there waiting, but he's actually out in the car. But Steve is back at the veterinarian waiting for Logan and Bob to come back. So I guess if we cut back to the scene of Steve is now wishing that Logan would be reunited with his family. And so Steve is begging and begging and begging that people would tell him where Bob went. He's saying, please let my wish come true. Please let my wish come true that I can have Logan again. And cut.
We want you guys to comment down below what happens next in the story.
Yeah, give us 3 sentences down below what happens next. Is Bob reunited with Logan?
Does Octodad all of a sudden slap Bob in the face?
So does Bob get out of the clown school and gets into the aquarium and then he turns into a fish?
Or is it all a dream?
Does the dog fly to Steve?
All right, so you guys help us finish the story. How does Steve's wish come true?
Leave it in the comments below.
We hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. Remember to
Like, subscribe,
and
share.
bye.